All right, so I think I put enough miles on this on the throttle tube, the throttle tube, to reduce the how much angle, how much twist you need, and that's Kitako. I think I did the install video. Was it a couple months ago? I think it was. I can't remember how long it was ago. But anyways, so I have several of these things. One for basically each of my Hondas. So I have one for the CB300, one for the Monkey, which I already put on, and this one right here is for the Super Cub. I haven't put on yet, so that's why it's still in its packaging. And you see it says right here Monkey and Super Cub 125. That's the 25%. I guess it's the 25% reduction or whatever the difference it is. I'm not sure it's actually 25%, but anyways, 25%. You know, if you can read Japanese, tell me what it says. It's something 25%. I think it's 25% reduction in angle. You know how much angle you have to twist it. So yeah, so now that I did a long road trip on this thing and riding around in the twisties, I really like it. You know, the hardest part of putting this thing on is having to take off your tank cover and the tank and lifting it up to get access to the throttle body, the throttle cables down there, because you have to loosen all that up to put this in. So that's the hardest part right there. And some of you might have a hard time with this bar and nut here, or screw right here. If you just use a regular screw, it doesn't want to come off. You know, you need to get like a little impact driver to get this off easily. Otherwise, with a regular screwdriver, man, you turn this thing forever and it's not gonna come off. But you know, that's in the install video. So this video is gonna be based on, you know, what my thoughts are, my review on using it. So I like it, you know, because with these small little displacement bikes, you'll end up with the throttle like pretty much wide open quite a lot. You know, basically every time you want to accelerate, it's gonna be pretty much wide open the whole time. It's not like a big bike where you could, you know, with the thing with big bikes, like my previous big bike, my Yamaha XSR 900. With that bike, you know, most of the time I was just like, that's it. You know, here's the free play, right? Free play is all gone, and as far as how much throttle, that's about it. That's all, you know, free play here, and that's it. That's all the throttle it needed, almost always. That when I rode that bike around, I hardly ever had to go more than half throttle. It's just basically barely throttle's barely open when I'm cruising around. It's just barely open. If I'm accelerating hard, I might go like half throttle. If I, you know, that bike, if you go like full throttle, the bike will loop on you. You know, you'll end up on your ass with the bike's, you know, flipped around, and you'll be underneath it. So that's how big, you know, big powerful bikes are. But with a small displacement bike like this, when you accelerate, you're pretty much all the way. So when you do that, looking at the wrist angle there, it's like, you know, you're down like this too much. So with this reduction, your angle is not as twisted down on your wrist, so it's much easier on the wrist. So I really like it. So yeah, so it's definitely worth it, and you notice it pretty much right away too. Now that I gotten used to this, you know, I don't notice much at all, but in the beginning I noticed a lot. One of the things is when you're twisting all the way, because of that angle, you're uncomfortable. What you tend to do is you twist it pretty much all the way, and you're kind of uncomfortable. And you're holding the grip in that position, and you kind of wiggle your hand, move your hand a little bit, so that way the wrist is not so angled anymore. So I was doing that a lot when it was still the stock throttle tube. But now with this tube, I don't do that as much. I actually hardly ever do that anymore, because I ever hardly have to be wide open that for that long. I guess I would say partly because, you know, your wrist is not bent as much. Pull this back, so you look at your wrist, it's not bent as much. So it's a little bit more comfortable. So yeah, so it's definitely worth it. I mean, you know, I got this thing on WeBike for, this thing is like less than $10. You know, I think including shipping for this thing was God, how much was it? I think it was like $10, including shipping. Because this thing by itself was probably like $5 or something like that. The shipping was like $5. I think the shipping cost just as much, if not a little bit more, than the actual thing itself. So it was about $10-ish dollars. I can't remember exactly how much it was. So yeah, so it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth the money to put this on. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the quick turning throttle. Much easier on your wrist, you know, and I have carpal tunnel. So my wrist, you know, every once in a while when the carpal tunnel acts up, I'm like, oh man, like, you know, it's hard, you know, when I'm riding, it's really hard on the wrist, and it's you know, my wrist is in pain. But with this, it's you know, it helps. The more angle your wrist is, the more harder it is on your wrist. So as you keep it straight, you know, keep the wrist straight, like so. You know, we call that the neutral position. It's the most ergonomically strong position. It's called a neutral position. So when you keep your wrist pretty much straight like that, it's very strong. The more angle you have it, like this or like this, the harder it is on your wrist, and it's actually there's more leverage against your wrist. So it's actually weaker. And you could actually test this with those grip, you know, those grip testing device where it shows you how strong your grip is. You ever have a chance to test those things and see how strong your grip is? You know, leave your wrist straight and grab it and squeeze it and see how tight, you know, how much pressure you put on those things. Then leave your wrist bent like this way or this way, and try the same thing, and you see your strength is like way weaker. It's only like about, I think maybe 1/4 of the strength, somewhere like that. So it's very you know, it's not a very strong position for your wrist for it to be straight. Oh, I mean, for it to be bent. And that's how it is with everything, right? You know, for example, when you're lifting something heavy, you want to keep your back straight, right? You don't want to bend your back. So that's the same idea. It's all about that ergonomics and such. So yeah, so that's the thing with the quicker turn throttle. So that's much better. And as far as like slow speed maneuvering, again, this bike is not that much powerful. So having it turn a little bit faster, it doesn't really make much of a difference. I really don't notice it. You know, you just play with your clutch a little bit more if you do notice it. You know, this bike, the fueling, it's not, you know, almost all injected bikes, especially more modern injected bike, because of emissions, the fueling with it, when you're fully off the throttle and on, the fueling is a little bit more snappy. It's a little bit more on off instead of smoothly on and smoothly off. So it's more snappy on and off. So usually, lots of times when you have it like a quick type throttle, you might, you know, it's potentially possible that you could feel that more. But I haven't noticed that with this setup. If anything, actually, it feels like it's less snatchy in the on and off, because I think partly because as soon as you're there, it's like on, and you're not too much. You don't spend too much time in the position where it's, if you're at the on or off position, because it's mostly like as soon as you pretty much turn it on, it's like more on, so it pretty much stays in the on position. So once it's in the on position, it's smooth. You know, it's where it's the point where you're like, where you're transitioning from that off throttle to giving throttle. That's in that transition point. It's where the snatchy on-off feeling comes from. So since this one goes through it really fast, for me, I feel like it doesn't. I don't feel any snatchiness of the on-off. So that's insignificant right there, as far as I could tell. Yeah. So that's it. All right. Thanks for watching.